Hi everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Booze Bites, the show where I show you how to cook with booze, but not just any booze, local booze. As you can see, I am in my lemon dress because I am feeling summery, and that is exactly the vibes that today's recipe is bringing me. We are making a delicious, zesty, bubbly strawberry sorbet. Two really amazing things about this recipe. One, these are the only ingredients that you need. That's it. 4 ingredients, which is crazy. And 2, it has some bubbly in it, and that's what makes it boozy. You know what we have to do. We have to try our bubbly, so let's do that. Today we are using the very summery and very portable Bridge Lane Bubbly. Perfect for the summer, picnics, on the go, drinking. There we go. Really amazing sort of fruity notes of like apple and pear in there that are going to pair really well with this sorbet. I feel like we are finally in this time of consistently warm weather, and it is amazing. And when this happens, I know that strawberry season is coming, and it's a tiny bit early, but luckily we have Catapano Farms, which grows them in a greenhouse, I believe. So I rushed down there and got some strawberries so I could use some local strawberries for this recipe, and they are so sweet and delicious, and they make the perfect strawberries for this strawberry sorbet. First thing we're gonna do is take our lemon, cut off the ends, and then rough chop it into pieces because we are going to be blending the whole lemon, which I know sounds strange, but just bear with me. Try to make sure all your seeds are removed and then throw it into your blender. To that, you are going to add your cup of honey. This is going to be our little lemony syrup that is going to give us a nice zesty sweetness. Blend those up, make sure it's super smooth. I personally do not like any sort of chunks of lemon in there, so I like to make sure it's very, very smooth. Remove that from your blender and set that aside. Next, we are going to be dealing with our strawberries. First thing you want to do is hull your strawberries, which is the fancy technical term for just chopping off the tops. So chop off the tops of a quart of strawberries, rinse them off really, really well, because these strawberries are the star of the show. That is why we want to use local, delicious strawberries. Throw those strawberries into the blender and blend them up until you get a nice puree. Then we are going to start adding our lemony honey syrup back in there. I like to start little by little till I get a nice sweetness that I like. And finally, we are going to be throwing in our bubbly. I used almost an entire can, but make it as bubbly as you want it. In my opinion, the boozier, the better. Now that the sorbet is all blended up together, you have a few options. If you are not a sorbet person, this is the point where you could pour it into a glass, stick a straw in it, and have yourself a little strawberry, lemonade, honey, bubbly little cocktail. 2, if you have an ice cream maker, you can pour it into your ice cream maker, let it turn away, you know the drill. I am not so fortunate, so we are going to do a little bit of a hack. Take your blended mixture, pour it into a pie pan or a loaf pan, stick it in the freezer for about 5 hours, take it back out, pour it back into the blender, turn the blender back on, blend it back up, return it back to the plate, and return that back to the freezer. This is going to mimic what an ice cream maker would churn in the best way that it can. So after all that, this is what we have at the end. It's pink, it's beautiful, and I cannot wait to try it. You know those cocktails that you take a sip of and they just make you want to go, whoo? That's what this is. This is amazing. It is ridiculously refreshing. The lemon flavor is so amazing. It comes through really nicely because we threw in the entire lemon. It has a very sort of robust flavor to it. The strawberries are sweet and delicate and amazing. It has a perfect amount of sweetness with the honey, and of course, just as it's starting to melt on your palate, the Bridge Lane Bubbly comes through and hits you with a little bit of booze, and it's like, oh my god, okay, there's some booze in here, and it's really amazing. Please, please try this recipe sometime over June, or even earlier if you can get over to Catapano to get yourself some of these delicious strawberries. With that, I will be finishing this, and I will also be finishing my bubbly. So, cheers.